I'm gonna have to do this through 5 different other characters. At least one of them would be a success.
I'm sarcastic.
Yeah,
but I'm sure the bandits will not change their strategy or tactics in any way, and will just wait patiently for you to return. So take the rewards you have reaped, and welcome to Cartesia. And he will turn around, and these doors that you couldn't see because they were in a black void suddenly open, and light shines in. Oh, my eyeballs! It's light! The enemy of nerds everywhere! And he'll open up into the city of Cartesia itself. The city is built using large towering spires that pierce the clouds. Everything is gray and slate and blue because that's what cities look like in a fantasy game. Shut up. And of course, see, the nice part of being a virtual reality MMO is we don't have to build everything with like 30-foot tall ceilings and 20-foot wide doorways.
What's this? Realistic proportions and not accessibility for cameras that hang 30 feet off your back?
Right. So instead, you are put into the market square of Cartesia itself. So there's a huge market square, there's lots of vendors, and most importantly, there's lots of people. Lots and lots of people. Only about 20% of them are naked.
Only? Wow. What restraint.
Yeah. Such restraint. And you can't actually get naked in the game. It's like if you take off all of your clothes, underwear appears. The city is wandering around. You have now unlocked the pub area, so you can now, and of course, it's like filled with people. With the and because this is a virtual reality future MMO, it's not just some sort of vague crowd noise. It's actual crowd noise of people discussing. It's like, yeah, I got the new iPhone 13, but I'm really thinking I need an upgrade to the 14 because it's going to be a little better. And other people talking about their builds. And of course, the inevitable person who's selling, I'm selling gold. Wait, what do you call this game? IOTAs. I'm selling gold. I am not a bot. The city of Cartesia opens up in the actual palace itself. The palace is a large structure, a cyclopean monolith off on the horizon that would be in a skybox if there's virtual reality, so you can actually see it. It's rises about 8 stories off the ground as a dark gray, and then the top of it is built out of gleaming steel because it was destroyed during the rise of 3 pillars when people rose up against the aristocrats and opened up the new age. You guys could possibly go back to the dungeon, but you would Jiro, your quest host, highly encouraged all of you to maybe pursue. Now that you're level 2, you could pursue another. You could upgrade your character to better gear.
Hey, Susano, how was your health after you jumped down that pit? Maybe we could go find another one.
What do you mean? I didn't take any damage from the fall.
Experiment to find deeper pits.
No, that's what I'm saying. I didn't take any damage from the fall, if that's what you're asking.
It was miraculous, though, because you actually felt the whooshing and the motion sickness. It was like you were really there, like an anime character.
So, I'm suggesting we throw you off more cliffs.
Okay.
I think I want to see a few more tests of that.
Sure.
There is a long vaulted bridge that leads into, that leads from one courtyard to the next. But you guys keep trying to climb up the railing and trying to leap off. And every time you leap off, your face keeps hitting an invisible wall.
Oh, that's unfortunate. If only I could exploit it.
I have a question. What is a Fury power die?
Okay, so things that need to be upgraded in the game is the next level of the game is we're going to start adding mana and fury. Fury is supposed to be a lot like the berserker powers that you see in games where when you're hitting monsters, it builds. And then mana is going to be what you usually see in games where when you're attacking, it gets spent and then decreased. These mechanics have not yet been implemented in the game. I have a lot of notes about them.
Well, because I assume what's going on here is that I'm like walking up to vendors and looking at stuff, and my eye catches a Virgil Murasama on a vendor.
Murasama.
Yeah, and that's why I'm just blindly agreeing to anything that is being asked at me, because I'm looking at the stats of the blade, and this little red pop-up comes up and says, needs Fury power die. And I'm like, what's a Fury power die?
Well, the vendor is more than happy to explain to you what a Fury is. Only the bravest and better warriors. But Fury is a power that you can go ahead and unlock. Since you guys have leveled up in the game and have access, now is the time to go ahead and choose paths, which is why we need to do some more design notes, because I got some design notes of what people want to see. There'll be the mana path, where if you unlock that, you're allowed to cast spells that require mana. If you unlock the Fury path, there'll be weapons you can use if you use Fury. I'm also willing to listen to people about other paths they want. I am fascinated by some of the assassin builds that you see, where you tag people multiple times and then unload all of that at the last minute. I mean, we've got, like, in other words, what I'm saying is there's a long, now that we've got some of the basic mechanics tested out, there's a laundry list. In game terms, things that have a build die are things that you have to roll to score a certain number of successes and that you can push your build to do. You can, like, right now, you can roll personality to roll twice. Well, there'll also be mana builds where you can roll twice or 3 times to try and cast better spells to get ultimates. Fury is going to be the same way. If you have a Fury weapon, you can push your Fury to go ahead and unlock bigger death powers. And these are going to replace. I know it's called the if it's your daily, it's your ult. What do you call the other ones that have like mid-range cooldowns, like 5-minute cooldowns?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't remember because they all just have specific names. They don't actually have a. Because I mean, the thing is, what you're asking is related to global cooldown timers, which a bunch of different skills will usually share cooldown timers, so you can't just spam them.
Right, because yeah, instead of letting people buy 8 powers and all of them having different cooldowns. Right.
Yeah, so that you'll use powers situationally rather than just spamming 1 or 2 powers over and over again.
Right. So the theory is, now that you guys have basic handling of your class, and you also know that the gear that your class uses, then there's also going to be, on top of that, there'll be, like, do you want to invest in meters? The 2 meters we have right now are only mana and fury, but we're planning on adding some more, where there are power dice that can unlock stuff. And then, of course, we have to start adding sockets to the weapons, so you can go ahead. So as you can see, there's a lot of work that still needs to be done on this. So I would ask your players, like, Susano, what, you're in an MMO, you have a skull for a face, you're a robot that kills people for a living, that tanks and then kills, like, and also the sky's the limit. You've played a lot of video games. What would you want to do?
I mean, in a real life perspective, first thing I would do is I'd go out and start questing to try and get better gear, because that's the first thing you do when you're leveling. Right. I'd usually have some sort of like gear add-on that tells me the best item levels and what changes out and what gives me the best upgrades, and I would go out to do the quests that give me the best upgrades.
So okay, but see, that now we're getting to the question of best. I mean, what is it you're looking for?
Item stats. I know it doesn't exist in this game, so we have to figure out what actually would equate to that. So, like, I'm already looking in the item gear, and I'm looking at in world. I would be looking at vendors. That's why I'm looking at this Muramasa blade here, trying to figure out, can I get it?
Okay, so you're more likely to look for items that have raw numerical power rather than items that have that add active skills or have.
Oh passive. Yeah, no. I've always been a passive thing. If there's an option between a passive that I can forget and just use as needed, or it will automatically come up, I will always choose passive over active. That's just me personally. I know a lot of high-end people love skills, because skills that you have to activate tend to be stronger than passives.
Right.
But I'm the forget kind of guy.
No, I don't. I'm not going to. That's how I build a lot of my characters, just raw. Right. So you would not be interested in things like that require fury and require mana. You say pass. Give me something that just does a lot of damage.
Well, this thing says. I know it's the only thing that's in the game right now, but
right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Since I don't know how fury works yet as a mechanic, I couldn't say.
Okay. Well, no, but I'm asking also because I have a lot of things in my notes to go ahead and add to the game. And it helps me if I ask the players, what would you be more interested in? And it sounds to me like, okay, I can go ahead and do the next tier items that would be passive just raw more numbers, because you can see the game's already set up, so it could easily add more raw numbers. If you found something that was triggered by both Urgod and Virgul, because those are your two classes, you'd want that. You want to get you'd immediately gravitate to those because your numbers will be better,
Right.
and you don't have to think that hard.
That's
okay,
correct.
Well, so moving on to Aisha, in your upgrade path, like what do you like to see in video games or characters? How would you upgrade your character?
I heard an L noise.
Oh, sorry.
I'm here.
Yeah, okay, sorry. I didn't know if you were muted.
Yeah.
I mean, besides, of course, you look at, besides solving the murder, what else would you do?
Oh, in game?
Yeah, you've got your character in the game, and you have to upgrade path. There are numerous upgrade paths available to you. What path? What do you want to do? It's a fantasy game. What would you do? If you do anything, what would you do?
Well, it's been a while since I played video games, actually.
The sky's the limit. You can ask for anything.
Well, I do like the idea of the summoning class. That would be pretty cool. But as for in-game gear, I would like to find something that's more effective in shooting.
Now, when you summon things, are you the kind of person who wants to summon, like the wizards that we already fought, the guys who were summoning the chaos monsters? Do you want to summon a monster and direct it to do everything for you? Or are you the kind of one who summons pets who mark and harass targets so you can then shoot them more easily?
More like a pet. Someone who can assist me in shooting.
Right. Okay, because, well, I believe both Rakdos and I will talk about how great Titan Quest is.
I don't even know what Titan Quest is.
Is Titan Quest free to play now?
I have no idea.
Is what now?
Titan Quest, the Diablo like. Well,
but if you're gonna do that, you just play Path of Exile, which is free.
Well, no, but you can in Titan Quest you can play the Ranger. Remember we played the Ranger? You get all 4 wolves. They're just wandering around biting everyone while you shoot them to death. I love it. So
I did that in the other Titan one that you got me to play that one time.
Yeah, I love Titan Quest. Titan Quest is awesome. Titan Quest, there's a specific Ranger class, and I'm also sure that it's in WoW and that kind of stuff where you get pets that when they attack a target,
I have hunters. I play hunter in WoW as well.
Okay, so that's what you would want to do. So you'd want to start investing in pet type stuff. Okay. Now let's go ahead and move on to Griffin's Ohira. Like what you can do, if anything in this game, what would you do?
I kind of want to see more of the basic progression. How do we actually kind of level up here? Where do we get the hashtags back at? Is leveling XP now, or
well,
because the last time we played, we built up XP, and I felt like I never really got a chance to get anywhere because I couldn't even use small amounts to get a skill because it's all in the formal archetype dice now.
Right, and so the way it's going to be set is levels are going to level up in the game, and you'll get better gear. When you accomplish quests in the game, your level will go up, and then we'll lock gear based on your level, which we're used to. It's an MMO.
Right.
Okay. But you'll also be able to buy additional abilities using experience points. And that's going to represent you learning new things. Like, for example, some paths, like the Mana path and the Fury path, are going to require you to spend experience points to learn them, whereas just getting better gear is just going to be better gear. So, that's still going to work the way it did before. So if you want to concentrate your character on other things outside the MMO, you could just go ahead and buy real world stuff and not worry about that.
Right.
But the one reason, there are 2 reasons we added level soak. One of them was so you guys could take more damage, and the second one is so I have a number that I can use to lock gear. So, but I mean, like in terms of in an MMO, like you're a character in an MMO, you would just want to get better gear and just stab stuff. That's what you want to do.
Yes.
Okay, I mean, I'm not. If that's what you want.
That's literally what the end game of any MMO is about. And that's what about getting to the end game of any MMO is about. Hell, twinking. My character's PvP oriented, right? Twinking is when you have a low-level character that you supply with gear that only higher levels can get you. So you have basically a high gear leveled, low level character who's better at the low level stuff than other low level people would be.
Okay.
So I'm very good at PvP in the example instance because I'm wearing like the highest end level, say 19 gear in a PvP arena setting that ends at 20. So when you get to 20, you enter the low level of the next tier arena. So I only have that stuff because it's the best in slot for that, because I used a like level 90 character to farm up the mats and the gold and everything to get it to that level 19 character. That would be a twink. And that's gear related too.
Okay.
Oh, you know what else I might want to see? Like in terms of maybe even progression or just base character? Some skill-based hashtags on the avatar classes.
I've been thinking about that.
Where like they have something special they do as well.
Yeah, we don't want to overwhelm people too much at the beginning, but I could see a bit more of that.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, Arcloid. And once again, this is also a tabletop game as well as MMO.
Yes.
If you would play a fantasy character, what is it you would want to do?
Well, I'd like to see more of the magic, since that's what my character is going to be based on here.
You want cool, weird magic. And when you think of magic, what is magic? What does it do?
Well, magic or other abilities that would take the place of magic, like, depending on your class. Like, if you're a warrior, then all your stuff is going to be mostly close range unless you got the taunts. If you're a mage, then most of your stuff is close range unless you have some kind of withdrawal mechanic that lets you get away from an enemy without them hitting you back. So I'm just guessing more interesting abilities to play with.
Okay. More interesting abilities. Because I'm not hearing you guys say things like better drop rates or anything like that.
I haven't encountered any drop rates.
We haven't really.
Better drop rates is in the give us drop rates.
Yeah, I would have to do that. Well, I personally was disappointed in Diablo 3, which I thought had... Well, but that's moving on. Okay. Okay, because these are obvious paths we want to go ahead and implement. And I think the idea of your avatar type, especially... Because I do think that your player type is not having that big of an influence on the game. So I think you're right. I think emphasizing that would be a bit more. Okay, so yeah, so you guys will shop around, and I have some stuff to go ahead and build. Of course, a lot of people in the common square, like the player characters, are talking about, did you hear those rumors that there was some kind of massacre at the Pacific Consumer Expo? Like, people were killed. They're covering it all up. It's all fake news. We have fake news in Japan. And lots of rumors about that. But yeah, I mean, Aisha, you just skimming the crowd.
Yeah.
This is just a lot. Also, this is the newbie area, so most people here are really into the noobs. There's also rumors going around that apparently, man, I need a better word. Are there better, like, people who cheat at MMOs? They don't call themselves cheaters, do they?
Exploiters? I don't know.
Well, exploiters get banned, so yeah.
Oh, then
Like the recent WoW mass banning for having exploited reputation gains.
Yeah, the big differentiation is, are you doing something that you shouldn't be able to do in the game, but is technically possible without adding extra code, and then hacking and adding extra code to the game?
You're an exploiter if you use the game's mechanics to your own benefit. You're a griefer if you use the game's mechanics against people, and you're a botter if you're using outside programs to make the game too easy for you into a way that you're not playing it.
Ooh, we didn't even add botters. That's a good thing to bring up.
That's also illegal. Not illegal. Well, it's also against the terms of service. Will get you kicked out of the game.
Right, of course. People have been talking about. There's a group been going around some of the levels, and people are asking rumors for this about a gang of people who are being called the bad actors. And this is apparently there are some people who've discovered a way in the game to exploit certain glitches. And yeah, there'll be one guy says, "Oh yeah, I was totally doing one of the new areas where I was supposed to explore this keep, and suddenly these guys came in who were like 80 levels higher than me, and they just showed up and destroyed all of us and took all our stuff. Like it was over so fast, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't even take a screenshot." And someone said, "Oh, that's just your people are always talking about you. Just like must have screwed up or something." No, it was real. I saw them. They just showed up, and their numbers were just ridiculous. And I don't know if this is triggering any memories with.
Yes, it is.
Was Aisha on that adventure?
Yes.
Yeah, those people showed up, and they were also annoyed. It's like, what do you mean you guys can actually stand up against us? Your skill level. Aisha, did you want to talk to these randos and contribute anything or question them about anything or?
Yeah, and I just realized that authority doesn't have questioning now. Let me check again.
I think authority gets questioning.
Yeah, I need to double check.
If it doesn't, we need to fix them. Check results.
No, authority gets observation, presence, and tactics.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and take the tactics out of that and put in questioning because that makes more sense.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute.
But you do get the proc of diplomacy, which is you get an extra success if you can talk to people in a neutral setting for a long period of time. This is a neutral setting. I mean, you don't hate each other.
Yeah.
Okay, so diplomacy would kick in, which would give you an extra success.
Yep. So I shall start, just chatting with them.
So are you bossy and using your will, or are you listening and using your mind?
Okay. Is he bossy
or are
or
you,
not?
or are you sexy and using your body? I'm not here to judge.
Yeah, Aisha. You're my thing.
Hello, it's the hot police officer. Hey, you guys can tell me.
I'll use bossy because it's easier for him. So it'll be will dice and question.
Will dice and questioning. So roll your will and questioning, and you want 4 is better. And I'm just thinking, okay, so in real life, you're this hard-boiled, grizzled cop. So in the MMO, your character is reaching for a phantom cigarette and constantly So how'd you guys? And instead of talking your gruff voice, so what'd you guys see? You're talking the cute little anime voice.
Yes, exactly. What'd you guys see?
While slouching most unladylike. This is the best game ever.
2 3s. God damn it.
But you do score automatic 1 success because you have diplomacy.
Yay! So 1 success.
Yeah. So you talk to a lot of people for a long period of time, and most with your questioning allows you that most of what they say is just speculation or rumor that some people. Okay, but you also saw some of this firsthand. So what you glean from talking to lots of people is, first of all, the Vital Hearts people only in their official forums only talk about cheating in the vaguest terms. Like they say it's against the rules. Here are descriptions of multi-boxing and botting. Please play, within, people will be banned, etc. But there's no actual reports in any of the we have seen people doing this exact activity. There's nothing like that in the official forums. I need to emphasize, Vital Hearts runs their own forums, and that's not in their official forums. But these people talking here and off-site forums like Reddit or whatever the future calls Reddit. People talk
Reddit.
Future Reddit, Fredit on Fredit.
Fredit.
That people are talking about what's been dubbed, because they don't actually have a name, the bad actors of they've seen where people apparently are glitching the game. Now they don't know if these people are running unusual hardware or if it's some software. No one can seem to replicate what they're talking about in software. People say, I've not been able to flip any switches. One guy says, hey, I paid 10,000 yen for guys who were going to sell me a program that was going to let me double my drop rate. It didn't do anything, and now my computer has a virus, and apparently my bank account's been drained. Does anyone else have this problem? Right, so you weed out that kind of stuff, but apparently whoever these people are, they actually exist, and no one knows how they're doing these things. While some other people will say, I went to the Vital Hearts forum, button where they say report things, and I reported all of this. They never got back to me. This game's terrible. I'm only going to play another 60 or 80 hours before I think about maybe quitting.
Any rumors about because what Sugimori will remember is a weird headset? That was from a previous campaign?
Well, the people in the game will say, well, we're virtual reality people, so we only see your avatar. So we have no idea if you have any hardware. Of course, people will say, yeah, well, there'll be other people posting the forums. Hey, somebody said if I suddenly got this chip and modded my headset, it would let me, get all this stuff. And instead, my headset got fired, then my house got fired, and then I had to move out. Now I'm homeless. Here's my GoFundMe. Right. I mean, other people will talk about bootleg, but no one, none of these links. You only have one success. I will let your Streetwise kick in, which is a free success from working with criminals.
Yeah.
And talking to some of these people and cross-referencing them to what you know of the dark web. But even though there's a lot of people selling, even though you see lots of spam ads, people selling stuff. This looks like obvious scams. These are the same people who sell you the discount Viagra off the internet. So what you can glean from all this is you've seen the bad actors. The bad actors exist, and if Zakuro Corporation, who runs Vital Hearts, knows about it, they have not made any official press release talking about that, nor what happened. The only thing they said was it was a tragedy, there was a crime at the Pacific Expo, but nothing about that. So there might be some sort of cover-up. This might require some work away from the console.
Yeah. Or you just see Aisha nodding, walking around, talking to people.
Yep.
And thinks that I had enough playing for today.
Yeah. Eventually the timer will come in that says, for health, the National Health Organization of Japan is concerned about your health. So they had to pass laws to prevent fat people. You guys have heard about the anti-fat laws in Japan, right?
Yep.
No, I haven't heard about those. Those sound new.
Yep, anti-fat laws.
Oh boy.
They'll fine you for being fat.
No.
Because fat is linked to health risks, and health risks is a greater drain on their socialized medicine. So there's fines for being fat.
Dun, dun, dun.
It's a big controversy. In fact, there'll probably be a petition you can sign to protest this.
Probably.
We were gonna have a protest against the anti-fat laws, but it turned out we had to go up some stairs. So
No, wow, that puts an end to it immediately.
yeah, now there we go. Let's get some hate in the comments.
So
There's no elevator. No.
So Aisha found some info on the bad actors, and since we're getting kicked off, I suppose since it is part of my job, I could try to figure out what it would take for the bad actors to try to do these things.
What skills do you
have? I'm a programmer and a researcher and a mathematician.
What skills do you have that are useful in that?
Academics.
Academics would be very useful. Craft also applies to actually hardware, so that also applies. You mentioned you had electronics and research. Do you want to contact anyone ex parte, out of the game, like Aisha, and say, hey, I'm interested in the same problem you are. Do you want to work together?
You know what? Sure, because it could help advance my work. I will contact Aisha and kind of go, hey, would you like to assist me on this?
And so what's your gamer handle? Is it Baruto
My
Lover?
gamer handle is like Ohira, which is literally just like first and last name smooshed together.
Aisha, you'll get a message, I guess, over Vital Hearts made everybody sign up for the future version of Facebook, or the Japanese version of Facebook. Aisha, when Ohira says he wants to do some research into this, do you agree to work with him?
Yes, but under a different name.
Okay. Do you have any dice in Deceit?
Let's see here.
I don't think you do, because you don't have it from your user. You set up a weak identity, but Ohira, who probably doesn't really care who you really are,
Yep.
I see here that your first and second Facebook account are both linked to the same Twitter account. Good job.
He doesn't have a Twitter account.
Okay, then I guess it's going to be mind, craft, and academics, and you'll get a bonus D8 because Aisha is assisting you. There's no reason they have to roll because they have procs.
Alright, so let's see. I do not believe I have craft, so let me take a look what else I got.
So Aisha doesn't have to roll to assist because they can just assist you. They know what you know your job.
Indeed.
Yeah.
It would only be a roll if you actually wanted to dox Aisha, and that's not important right now.
That is correct, and I'm not going to even really bother. So let's see. So mind and academics plus the D8, and then I got let's do hashtag programming and hashtag research.
Both of those would apply as you spend several hours looking into this. You do have access to certain databases and forums. Research is a bonus when you have access to an appropriate library.
Let's do it. Looks like 2 successes and then 2 more for the procs.
Okay. So you spend several hours. Is anyone else doing anything else while Ohira geeks out? Like, what would Katsu and Susanna do for off time? Kenshiro and Jikai.
Kenshiro will be looking through like gaming magazines and blogs on different tips and tricks for Bible Hearts.
Picking up girls in bars.
And Jikai goes to pick up girls in bars. So you go off to play. The Catherine game.
Text message from like Oshiro. Hey, you want to come do boring stuff instead? And I just get the reply back like, no, having a life.
Yeah, nope, having a life. Going out to bars, partying, dude.
Probably the response would be later not later, the next day, where you come up and say, hey man, I texted you, how come you didn't reply?
So Jikai, do you have any skills in partying and going to bars?
I probably don't. I didn't say successful. I just said I would. Yeah, my skill is that when they're too drunk, I can drive them home.
Welcome to quality podcasting. So you don't have presence or questioning.
I am a gentleman, thank you, sir.
Okay.
No, I'm mostly craft and endurance.
Yeah, what's your user type?
My user type, PvP. My user type is PvP.
Sorry, I meant
player.
Your player type.
I'm a laborer.
Okay, so yeah, you could just go to bars and hang out.
Yeah, carousing. Sorry, I forgot I have carousing.
Yeah, you get carousing. You actually get 1 success. You go have a good time at a bar. You don't have to. You get 1 success without even trying. You actually have fun at sporting events. So yeah, you do have bar hopping skills. All right. So after 4 successes, Ohira. Okay, so there are 2 competing technologies when it comes to virtual reality in the Vital Hearts universe. There's the NIE system, which was pioneered by Zakuro and appears to be light years ahead of everyone else. And then there is the Altamont company from America has been pushing their High Life system in their augmented reality system in America. And it's like an unholy hybrid of Apple and Microsoft where it costs too much money and doesn't work.
Perfect.
And doesn't have any security. So like basically the High Life games are like non-starters. Like they've got some games in America no one cares. It's not like Vital Hearts, which just amazes everyone. Vital Hearts, the NIE system amazes everyone because it's light years ahead of what anyone's ever seen. You put the helmet on, you feel like you're in there. It's got motion sickness suppressors, and no one can seem to figure it out. But there are rumors, because you guys had previous characters who wandered around and found some stuff out. So there are, with 4 successes, you can plow through the obvious bullcrap. Okay. And, and obviously, and you can find people who are talking about specific chips and specific hardware, and someone says that like there's no substantiated rumor that somebody went to the Pacific Expo and stole some specific hardware that would allow you to hack your NIE system and get past its personal level of security.
Ooh.
So that this tech doesn't exist. And that's part of what the issue was Pacific Expo, because some of their proprietary tech got out of their hands. And but there's also some other rumors that you'll download some, and you've got academics and crafts, so you got 4 successes. You'll be able to download some specs and schematics from some other people that talk about how they've reverse engineered the NIE set. Because there was like paranoia, like apparently before, Zakuro's constantly fighting a battle against the National Organization of Health, or what passes for that in Japan, that
Right.
this system doesn't actually hurt you. It doesn't cause brain cancer. It doesn't cause motion sickness. It doesn't actually interfere with people. So they've had to file a lot of it, but some of the stuff's undocumented. With 4 successes, you can find what some people claim is the actual documentation on some of the chipsets, and some of the rumors would actually bypass it. But I'm going to emphasize, you found some files that say if you take apart a NIE headset and futz with it, you can bypass some of the security and possibly do some of the things the bad actor's done. But you don't know if this is true or not until you actually take apart a NIE headset and do the modifications they're talking about.
Oh, I definitely want to. Heck, I probably even have slight funding from my employer to do this.
Who is your employer?
Asobi, another MMO company that makes a lot of MMOs, mostly for mobile devices.
Right, mostly for the
This
mobile
week,
devices.
can I create a full sensory experience from a phone?
Do you want to ask your boss for support to be able to hack one of the NIE systems?
You know what? Yes, I will. I'll try to get some
The primary skill for that would be negotiations.
Oh boy, that's one I don't have.
Right, because you're a programmer. You're not supposed to interact with people. Do you have anything else that might help you with that?
I do have questioning and deceit.
Well,
questioning either of those.
Questioning wouldn't help you because
Very true.
It's Japan and they're your boss. They don't want to talk to you.
But with deceit, I could overpromise what's going to happen and then scale it back later.
You could. You could make a roll. Since this is a written proposal, it has to be your mind, because your personality doesn't affect this. It has to be your written proposal. So you can go ahead and make a roll of mind and negotiations.
Like I said, I don't have negotiations. The offer is like, can I use deceit?
Mind, deceit, and negotiations. You can use deceit.
1.
So 1 success would be to sign up for a social media account, pretend to be. 1 success is enough to falsely promise someone a minor reward. So
this will definitely advance the project that you have me on.
Your boss is going to write back to you and say very politely that your hyperbolic claims. Yeah, so I think he would give you minor assistance. So he's not going to let you he's not going to advance you to buy several $1,000s worth of video game equipment.
But he probably will say, like, here, go buy like 2 more headsets and see how many you break.
Well, the headsets are several $1,000s. So even he doesn't quite believe you on that front. But he does say that if you file an expense report and review it, yeah, he says go ahead and file for expenses and we can get out of petty cash, which means you can buy some of the chips, but not the headset. Which means you're going to have to make a decision. Do you want to ruin your headset or try to buy your own?
Well, I definitely don't have 7,000 sitting around, I don't think.
Or
the ability to buy it through other means.
Yeah. So
time to wreck mine.
All right.
Hey, Susanoo, can I borrow yours?
You could also try to ask other people if you could borrow their headsets and do
Actually,
it on theirs.
Susanoo, I might need your hands on this.
Susanoo, not my real name.
I know, Jikai.
Also,
Right, but-
as already established, not responding to text messages tonight.
Well,
Well, we got it dated for the request, so we'll
th-
just
this-
use borrow.
this would probably go ahead a few days. So I think this is some good progress on some other stuff to build. I'm thinking the plan of wreck one of our headsets to see if we can go ahead and cheat in the game sounds like an excellent opening for the next adventure. So I'm going to go ahead
Ooh.
and propose that this is, now that you've given me some lists, and thank you for suffering through some of the playtests and also attacking the boss one at a time, which
Yes.
murdered all of you exactly the way I thought it would, because the boss is designed that you have to attack him with a crew, otherwise he will murder you. So,
I get killed by the fall, so I didn't get killed by the boss.
well, that and also, yeah, that's in there so you guys can like rush the tutorial and rush. So getting killed by the fall didn't help. So, okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and go left to right on the list here. So, Jakai, what was your personal catchphrase motto?
Let's have some fun.
You did have some fun, so I will give you 1 experience point for that. Yeah, Sugimori, Goto, and Aisha, yours was
Be
was
the
your motto?
change you want to see in the world.
You do want to figure this out, so that's a point for you.
Yay!
What is Hirako Ishiro's?
What am I doing here?
That's a point for you. I have no idea what's going on. Like running around aimlessly, my entire party's dead. What the hell am I doing here? Log out. And of course, Shimoto.
That would be Susanoo.
You definitely did that. So that's a point for everybody. I'd also like to thank people for participating in a debriefing session. So once again, we've kind of changed it, so we went back to the bonus D12s. So
Right.
I'm hoping, do people think that works out a little bit better?
It definitely gives me the option to avoid damage if I decide not to be overly aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking what was suggested here was maybe the procs on that reward certain combat styles should be in your player style and not necessarily in the
Makes sense to me.
Very possible.
Avatar
The
style.
overly aggressive PvPer gets like Prime or something, and
right. That would make a little more sense. It will make the game a little more complicated, but I also think you're right, that would be a reward. So I think, and we also spent some time discussing what kind of upgrade paths. Any other questions about what we did? No. Is
no,
anybody
everything
watch-
we actually did made sense. So
Is anybody watching the chat? Because I don't actually have the Twitch open at the moment, so I want to see if there's anybody saying anything in the chat. Is there anybody? Because thanks for watching, guys.
We had
Mhm.
maybe 2 people that stuck around. Like I said, we lost most of our people in the hour that we spent not doing anything.
Yeah, but we had a lot of setup problems, folks. It'll go better a little bit. Oh wait, this isn't you. There's apparently an imposter on Twitch.
There's somebody who offered to buy my name.
Wow. Couldn't sell out your name, huh?
No, I'm not selling my name.
It's quite something.
Okay. Sorry, I'm getting Jack Ryan here. That's the new thing.
I will die with this name. And then who are you going to buy it from? Nobody, because Twitch has a time period to have to take to get those names back.
All right. So there's a lot of upgrade things, and I've been hearing from people what they're looking for. There's a lot of upgrade paths. We did a big update. Hopefully the tech people will fix it. So if you're one of our early access people, we pushed an update, but there's something weird about it, and it's difficult to download. We'll get that fixed. I'm on it. I don't know what happened. It's just new. But we pushed an update with a huge amount of classes and revisions. Still working on this. Game is a lot closer to, I think, the final that we want to see. So I want to thank everybody.
yay!
Yay!
And speaking of seizing the day, I have a lot to do. October is going to be a busy month for us. If you're looking for Sanguine, we're going to be wandering around things like Fur Reality, and we'll be at Midwest Fur Fest and a bunch of stuff. So things are going to get hyped a little bit, and I need to go get some like pumpkin spice latte or something, or whatever it is you do.
Yep.
Yeah.
Lunchtime for me.
Yeah, I'm hungry.
So catch you guys later.
Take care, everybody.
Later. Yeah. Bye.